Aloha and welcome to Java again. So this is the second time I'm posting this video. It's going to be a little different. This is for the week, December 10th, 2023. I think there's too much important in here, so I'm filming this again. The first time was pulled, as you can see, for a violation. They want me to take a training, so I'm going to do that. But in the meantime, I wanted to redo this video because I would like to get this information out to you. So, yeah, I have to take a training here, policy. So, moving forward with the calendar that's coming up this week, we are getting the Federal Reserve speaking on Wednesday with their committee meeting. We are also getting core inflation numbers, and then we're going to get the jobless claims and sales again. So, we're expecting the Fed on Wednesday to basically kind of hold things status quo because it can't shock the market. That's just my expectation. I don't think they're ready for rate cuts. So, really, I want to shout out to Karen because she had brought this link forward. It's called The Great Taking, and this is by David Webb. He puts out all of his work free because he wants to let people know what's actually the underpinnings of the financial market and why this crash is going to happen. It's inevitable. He goes into a little bit more. You can get hold of me via email. If you have any questions, maybe I can answer them. I don't know. I'm not that bright, but if there's something in there that I can help with. This is the same reason, though, that Greg Manarino and I also create all of our work is free because we want people to know and understand what is going on here. So I'm going to leave that link in the comments the second time. I am also moving to Rumble. So banks and energy, want to go through this really quickly. Global rate cutoffs, they're talking about the Fed meeting on Wednesday, but also other central banks are due to make their decisions as to whether they're going to hike or cut their rates. So the outlier is Bank of Japan is talking about how they might possibly hike because their inflation is getting out of control. However, if the other central banks cut, they won't need to because it's a relative strength of the currencies. So, with the jobs numbers, I wanted to bring this up because this is a very unhealthy balance of job sectors. So, we've got education and health services, with 99,000 of them. This is the hard part here. Government, just under 50,000, hospitality, and then manufacturing at the bottom. So, manufacturing is what we're actually producing product that contributes meaningfully to our GDP. So, this should be the opposite. Manufacturing should be the largest number, with government at the very bottom, and education, health services, and hospitality supporting the manufacturing. Government does not make money, and it's paid for with tax dollars of all the other sections that are working. So if this one gets too large, it's where you have serious problems. So going into JP Morgan, as I said before, the most corrupt bank on the planet. So they're trying to get into private credit syndicate now. So they've cleaned up on the commercial side. Now they are pressuring smaller banks and trying to get into private lending now that smaller banks have been basically crushed out. And if that doesn't do it, we've got the Treasury overhauling community development financial institution certification process. So that is going to wipe out smaller banks, credit unions themselves. They will either be merged with larger banks or acquired outright, go bankrupt. So this is all part of the process. So I've got a cryptocurrency news about Tether. Tether is supposed to be a stable coin. It's linked to the value of the US dollar. It is cryptocurrency. I don't like it personally. However, I brought this up because they're talking about how they are initiating a voluntary wallet freezing policy. So basically, anyone from considered sanctioned persons from the United States Office of Foreign Assets Controls or specially designated nationals or any other list that they come up with, they can tell Tether, freeze their assets, freeze those wallets. And while they can't get the currencies from within them, they can freeze them indefinitely. So another reason not to use exchanges or use these stable coins, quote unquote stable coins. Okay, so we were talking about BRICS making good on their word to ditch the US dollar. And part of this is basically talking about $2 billion in a copper deal between China and Africa. So China basically told Africa that they would be purchasing in yuan, and that strengthens their currency, trading the copper for their currency, because now Africa will need it to purchase goods. That's how the US dollar became reserve currency to begin with. So, and then along with an agreement push from the Federal Reserve, but that's the idea behind it. So we've got Venezuela. We were talking about this before. The whole thing about them basically just grabbing a land grab in Guyana is all about the resources. Now they're trying to get Chevron to revive their gas projects there, because that's what it was all about, the resources. Another story about Scholz from Germany saying that he was lying about the gas. So this was Medvedev came out and spoke that basically Scholz said that they had shut off the gas, and Medvedev is saying that he decided to cut it off. Well, the really important point here is that Germany, being the manufacturing powerhouse, does this because they were getting cheap energy in order to make this production. So if they have to pay more for the energy, then financially it doesn't quite work out, just to put this in very simple terms. So basically, I think it was costs. They basically cut their own and then pointing the finger. So, and I've got to start being very careful about what I'm saying because, as I said, it was cut before. So, Philippines and China trading accusations. So it's heating up down in the Asian seas, basically with water cannon blasting Philippine vessels. They're going back and forth. Got another little bit about this. What's really behind the threat to send Americans for blood? Basically, they're pushing us into inflating more. And we're on 3 different war fronts now. We've got Yellen saying the US is responsible for Ukraine if the funding stops. So as I said, maybe they can ask the Taliban to borrow some of the equipment that we left there. So we had large numbers of Chinese military-aged males illegally crossing the border. So this is proven also. What is not proven, I'm not 100% sure, but I heard there is a story about the Arizona sheriff saying that they get cell phones, plane tickets, as well as $5,000 Visa cards. And here you go on your way. So kind of infuriating. Okay, now for the updates. And this is what got me into hot water the first time. So this first one was really cute, talking about the stem cells. I like this little club. They're growing stem cells into basically brain material, and then spontaneously they are developing eye cups. There's eyes to see. They are calling them organoids. So maybe I can get a pet organoid. I don't know. But anyway, these are some of the things they're doing with therapy. And from this, I cannot say more because it includes certain words that won't pass through. But anyway, with this therapy, it is altering from the very base code out, and they can change anything about you with this therapy. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to have more. I'm on Twitter now. I'll probably put a post about this if you don't follow me there. It's in the links. Most importantly, that first link to that, the great taking, if you have time to watch that. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to try to get this out. We'll see if they leave it up. Otherwise, I'm off to my training. Have a wonderful day. Stay free, my friends.